Daddy, chill.
Kevin De Bruyne!
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for your patience. I love that you all have been so completely understanding. I've been so busy over these last 2 weeks. I started medical school. This is me in the infamous white coat. I look rather dashing, don't I? Friday was my first exam. Look, I'm not some goddamn influencer, so I'm not going to bore you with my life story. Manchester City is going to be the topic of this video, obviously. Timestamps are down below, but Friday was my first exam. I started 2 weeks ago. The exam kicked my ass. And Saturday, yesterday, was my sister's wedding in Washington, D.C., and this is the outfit that I wore to the wedding. Obviously, I've got some amazing photos, but the photographer needs to get back to all of us. And as soon as I get that, I'm definitely going to be sharing some photos of the wedding. It was absolutely magisterial. And while I was preparing the speech yesterday, I was watching Manchester City versus Wolves. Fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, my flight from Memphis to DC was at 6 a.m. On Saturday, yesterday morning, and I had to get to the airport at around 3. I was driving in Memphis at 3 a.m. and I saw some crazy ass shit. And I just learned that the area outside of the airport and around Graceland, where that famous Elvis, where I think the Elvis Presley house is there, highest crime per capita in the world.
Oh my.
It's bad, but not as big of a crime as getting Tijsexi Reijnders for 50 million euros. Are you absolutely insane? I'm talking to you, Bayern München, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, Chelsea. How could you let City go for this guy unchallenged? You absolute buffoons. So yeah, you know what? Let's get straight into this. Let's talk about the Wolves game first. Absolutely phenomenal performance from everybody on the field. Not really everybody, but some people are still not convinced of this Manchester City side, and specifically Tijsexi Reijnders. I know some of my friends have told me that. They didn't put him in FPL because, oh, it's just Wolves. He's going to struggle against Newcastle and specifically Tottenham next at the Etihad Stadium. You never know, that could definitely well happen, but Tijsexi Reijnders, you can see why he was Serie A's MVP last season. This guy has got a knack for goal. He's a box-to-box player, and the technical ability on this guy is unparalleled. Without question, my man of the match, that scoop pass to Rico Lewis for Erling Braut Haaland's tap-in was absolutely incredible. Tijsexi Reijnders, the way he drifts in out of players, the croquetas and the scoop turns, he did that all in one motion, all right? That first time finish with his weak foot from that pass from Oscar Bob was immaculate. Tijsexi Reijnders, he is going to be an insane player for us for this season. Without a doubt, the best player on the field for Manchester City. That lineup was just pretty... I was speechless when I saw that lineup. Stones and Diaz in the same team. A Stones-Diaz center-half partnership. We didn't see that since the Stone Age. We didn't see that since 2020, 2021. Our fullbacks, I thought, did absolutely amazing. Especially, I was really impressed with Rico Lewis. The strength of this guy, the ability for him to find those pockets of spaces, to play those passes in those pockets of spaces to the oncoming midfielders. That impressed me a shit ton. I know his skills, his footwork. They're just, I'm going to run out of words to describe this guy. This guy is like Joško Gvardiol as a left back. So basically, Joško Gvardiol. Yes, Tijsexi Reijnders was absolutely sensational. We got another guy that scored a brace, obviously. But honestly, I really, really loved Nico Gonzalez today. Yesterday. I loved Nico Gonzalez. A silent man-of-the-match performance by Nico Gonzalez. This is what I've been saying. Nico Gonzalez, Tijsexi Reijnders, and Rodri. That should be our starting midfield three. By the way, it's so insane to me how we won 4-0 and we had Marmoush, Foden, and Joško Gvardiol on the bench and Rodri. We've got talent for days.
I love my life.
It was the interceptions, it was the blocks, it was the standing tackles from Nico Gonzalez. It was the intelligence to play passes into players with space in front of them, to play passes to players that had options and not make any hospital passes or any mistakes in that midfield. even remember a mistake that Nico Gonzalez made in that game. Nico Gonzalez should be a starter for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva, we all love Bernardo Silva. I've been on record saying Bernardo Silva should be benched, and this performance showed me why I'm an idiot, and it's a reason why I'm not a coach, and Pep Guardiola is a coach. However, there is truth to what I'm saying, to what I've been saying about Bernardo Silva, and there's truth to what all of you have been saying about Bernardo Silva. We want him to play. We all want him to play. Deep down, every single City fan wants him to play, but not nearly as much as other players. I didn't want Bernardo Silva's minutes to coincide with Oscar Bob, but to see both of them playing at the same time. And Bernardo Silva, if we can prioritize his rest and actually coach him into these proper games, he is going to be an unsung hero for us. Our captain, Bernardo Silva, was incredible. He was magisterial. He turned time backwards in that 2018-2019 season. All right, the little shimmies, the little passes that he does, the dribbling, absolutely insane. In terms of our attacking front three, there really isn't much to be said about Erling Haaland. We all know who Erling Braut Haaland is. Okay, starting off the campaign with a brace. Every time he did that, we went on and won the league. Wink, wink.
Shut the up.
He is a generationally talented football player. There really isn't much to be said. Before I get into Oscar Bob, James Trafford, fantastic performance. Clean sheet. He made some good saves, some great decision making by James Trafford. Nothing more to be said. He wasn't really tested a whole lot. He did concede, but it was offsides. But there's nothing really to be said. He's still young. He's going to get better and better and better. I was really happy with him. Nothing else to be said. I'll be honest with you, it's going to sound pretty feminine, but I got a tiny bit emotional seeing Oscar Bob playing, and I was so happy because did you see that dribble that he had? Did you see him weaving in and out of players left, right, and center? Did you see him moving like a Norwegian Messi? Oscar Bob has got talent for days. And it's so sad that last season was supposed to be his breakout season, and then he broke his leg. Life can just be so cruel. The Oscar Bob flick that he did, all right, with the outside of his left foot laterally and then inside of his left foot medially. Why am I speaking in anatomical terms? Basically, with his left foot, he went left and then right, and it just completely bamboozles the defenders, and they really can't do anything. It's so unpredictable. It's so fast. He's lightning quick. Oscar Bob is. I don't really have much to say other than keep doing what you're doing. Does he deserve to start? Yes, he does against Tottenham Hotspur. I don't want anybody else touching that right wing position unless a certain Brazilian comes. So here are my 2025-2026 Manchester City specific predictions. Top scorer Erling Braut Haaland, and as you can see on that top right hand corner, August 15th, so I'm not cheating with any of you, that timestamp proves that I did this a couple days ago. Top assister Phil Foden. I think he's going to be playing a lot of games in the Champions League, and I think he could rack up a lot of assists, and I want to see an amazing season by Phil Foden. He's definitely capable of doing that. I still believe in him. Breakthrough player Oscar Bob. I'm getting that prediction right. I think I'm 2 for 3 right now because Oscar Bob is definitely the breakout player. And top assister Erling Braut Haaland. I mean, come on, that's too easy. Disappointment Doku. Yes, that doesn't mean I dislike Doku. I just don't think that he's going to be getting a lot of game time. It's not because he doesn't have that talent. It's just because we have Omar Marmoush on that left side. I mean, we can't let somebody like Omar Marmoush be on the bench. Speaking of Marmoush, I chose him as my player of the season. Not the best of starts. Obviously, he didn't start the game against Wolves, but I do expect him to start the game against Tottenham, and I do expect him to score a goal. That is where this prediction is going to be met at the end of the season. Biggest surprise, I said I did this 2 days ago. I didn't change any of this. Rico Lewis is my biggest surprise. Absolutely. I want him to be our starting right back for next season, or for this season. Best signing, Tijsexi Reijnders. There's no question about it. I honestly think he's going to get this with ease. And final league position for Manchester City. Yes, I did put 4th, and I know that's going to be extremely unpopular. But again, I'm looking at this realistically. I know that I'm supposed to say City are going to be winning the league every season to be considered a proper City fan. No. In my opinion, a proper City fan is somebody that looks at the season and says, you know what, I don't think we have the minerals to win, but I think we're going to get a top 4 finish, and I'm going to be excited, and I'm going to be happy with that finish, and I'm going to still stick by my team. That is a proper Manchester City fan, in my opinion. Look, I don't see what these other City fans are seeing, or we're definitely going to win the league. We have some problems in our defense. We are still very vulnerable to counterattacks. We still are, and again, it's Wolves. Arsenal just went to Old Trafford. Mbeumo and Cunha, if you look at FIFA score ratings, if you're that type of person, it's going to tell you that they play horribly. Cunha and Mbeumo, I watched the game, they were amazing. All right, Šeško he was a substitute, but Bukayo Saka, horrible. Gyökeres, horrible. All the comparisons with Erling Braut Haaland, stupid. You people are morons. But Arsenal got 3 points of a top 6 against a big 6 side at their home stadium. That is huge. That is better. That is much better than our win against Wolves. And Liverpool showed that they can come back from a deficit against Crystal Palace, an amazing, amazing team. Eze could be going to Tottenham, and if that happens, then Savinho might not be going to Tottenham. And if that happens, then it's going to ricochet into some more players not coming to Manchester City, but we'll get into that later. Liverpool had a better win than us, and I think and Arsenal definitely had a better win than us. Those are the 2 teams that I think are going to be finishing 1 and 2. I think Liverpool is going to be winning the league. I think Arsenal is going to come 2nd. Chelsea is going to come 3rd, and I think Manchester City is going to get 4th. That being said, our transfers for this season, there are 2 players that we are linked to, and if both those players come, I would happily tell all of you that Manchester City are title contenders without question. I love the fact that most people are writing us off. I love the fact that we're considered underdogs. Nobody really considers us in the title race. Most people actually have Chelsea finishing above us in the Premier League. And those 2 players are obviously Ederson leaving, Savinho leaving, and us getting Donnarumma and Rodrigo from Real Madrid. There are actual City fans who would rather have Savinho than Rodrigo. I love Savinho, but if he wants to go, there are several reports about him wanting to go, and if you don't want to fight for your place, that's absolutely fine. I wish you nothing but the best. He doesn't have the shooting ability that we want as a winger, but I promise you his first shot on target against Manchester City, we're going to concede 100%. Rodrigo is on another level. I saw a tweet on X or Twitter a couple days ago, and I couldn't stop laughing about it because I didn't believe that it was true. I checked online, and it is true. Rodrigo has more goals against Manchester City than Savinho has for City. A guy that plays 20, 30 games, less goals than a guy that plays against us only in the Champions League. And Donnarumma is a top 3 goalkeeper in the world, and he's 26. Again, at 26 years old, he's not even in his prime. This could be a all-time goalkeeper. He is that good. He's been playing professional football for 10 years. You all know how good of a player. This guy's a treble winner. He's won the Euros. Donnarumma could be one of the best goalkeepers of all time. And there are some people that don't want either of them, and it makes no sense to me. Those are 2 legitimate world-class talents coming into our squad. And a lot of you want younger players to be shipped off because you don't want players to be developed. You don't think Manchester City is a developing club. You want players to come in automatically and win. And the same people who are saying that want us to keep Ederson and Savinho and not get somebody like Rodrigo. You do realize that if we sell Savinho for the reported fee of £70 million, the net spend for Rodrigo is going to be less than £20 million. That is going to be the heist of the century. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about the game against Wolves. Let me know what you think about my Manchester City predictions. Let me know where you think we're going to end up in the table. Let me know everything about our transfer business. I don't put transfer videos out there because, again, I don't want to bore any of you. Okay, it makes no sense to me. I'm not a journalist. I could give a damn. Okay, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.